Hello, good day everybody. It's been a while since we've uploaded. It's been a very busy end of 2022 and now we are back, so happy 2023. I know we were a little bit late for saying Happy New Year, but Happy New Year anyway. We decided we're just going to pick up where we left off, so this is some footage that we did right before winter hit. We actually were getting the garden ready for winter, so we have a bunch of clover that Trey's planted and we are just spreading that all over our garden beds just to add a little bit of protection and ground covering, of course. We also decided we needed to start afresh, so we had quite a bit of bug damage on our greens, so we pulled up all of our kale, our Swiss chard, and greens that we've planted, and we are just going to start all over. On this day, the weather was just perfect. I mean, look at the sun beaming down. It was just like the perfect gardening weather. It wasn't hot, it wasn't cold, so we decided to come out and get some stuff done. So we just finished this one bed, and check out all of the greens behind Trey. This is what we've planted. It was a bunch of kale, a lot of chard, and they were just humongous and ginormous, and a lot of bug damage. So we finished this one garden bed and we're going to work on the other two. While we worked on the garden beds, we also had the kids help with harvesting some of our bell peppers. This is our green bell pepper. We also have a bunch of Thai chilies that we have to harvest, as well as ghost peppers, and it was a ton. So we are going to harvest them, we're going to dry them out or use them in something, and we don't want to waste. So of course we have gathered all of the peppers right here. Before we pulled out the greens, we had to get rid of pretty much all of the aphids as much as possible so that it's just easier. So Trey just took a hose and he hosed down all of the bugs before we pulled all of the greens out. Now, some of these plants were just huge. Check out the size of this kale. We are just going to fill up a wheelbarrow here with all of the greens so we can take it to the back for composting later on. Or we also gave some of these greens to the chickens, of course. They love the bugs that are on there, and they love the vegetables, the greens. And meanwhile, Mercy and Grace, the girls, have gotten a little colander, a little basket, so they can harvest. We had them harvest all of the peppers. So we had all of these tiny little these Thai chili peppers that needed to be harvested, and green peppers, as well as some ghost peppers. We had them pick all of them. As you can see, it wasn't a walk in the park grabbing all of these greens from the roots. These roots were surprisingly huge. They grew very, very well in this dirt, and just look at the size of these roots on these chard. It was amazing. Chard and kale is one of the best things you can grow out here. They do very well in our climate. And check out the size of those roots. We would love to know, have you started on your winter garden? Did you have to start afresh and pull out a bunch of summer crops, like maybe your greens or maybe your squash? Let us know in the comments what you did, and we would love to discuss that. Now check out the whole wheelbarrow full of these greens that we just pulled out. These are pretty much all of it. We probably had one more garden bed, so we are bringing that into the back to compost. And here is Sheila rolling over to get a belly rub. She is so cute.
That's where the gopher tried to come up at, and Sheila is trying to get to it.
Check out our apples. They are starting to become red. Alright, after the drop off, we are working on the next few beds. So this is our second grow bed. We are just doing the same thing. We had our kids come and help as much as we could also. And then so we're just working together to get all of these roots. Look at the roots on this one. I mean, check it out. It reminds me of that crying plant root baby thing in Harry Potter. Comment and let me know what you know what I'm talking about. As you can see, some roots are just way harder to pull out than others. This was one of them. Trey was just wiggling and digging it out, and he finally got it out. But yeah, these roots are crazy and they're holding onto the soil like their life depended on it. Which in fact plants do depend on the soil, duh. We also planted some eggplants this year, and well, last year now, and these are our little eggplants. We love them. We ate them roasted, and they were just really, really good. And here, I think Mercy is almost done with picking all of her little Thai chilies, and she did a great job trying to get all of them, so we were very proud of her. She was so helpful. These eggplants grew very well also, and we are probably going to plant them again this year. We have discovered a new recipe for baba ganoush, and eggplants will come in handy. Let's water down our last grow bed full of these leafy greens, and Trey is just going to once again knock down all of the bugs as much as he can before we pull them out. Another trick we found when we pulled out the roots was to spin it just like Trey is doing, to pull the roots out in one. And check out the root on this whole bunch of kale. This is dinosaur kale, and this also grows very, very well out here. We're loading up another wheelbarrow, and look, it's already completely full. We just had a ton of greens. But slowly, we are doing it as a team. We are getting this garden bed ready to grow for the next season when we are ready. And we have all of these hands to help. It's a blessing to have all these kids. Here, Emmanuel is pulling out the clover that we've grown, and we are going to just stack it up to get it ready to cover the rest of our grow beds. Not only is clover good for ground covering, it is also a nitrogen fixer. It goes back into the ground and gives nitrogen to all of our plants. Now over here we have Israel sprinkling some azomite over all of our grow beds. It is just to remineralize all of our soil, so that way when we grow, all of the minerals are just being used to help our plants grow really, really great. There were also quite a few weeds or, vegetables even that have grown into these bricks. We are just pulling them out so everything is nice and clean and ready to be planted for the next season. Meanwhile, the other kids were also helping pull out some more clover and little weeds and things like that, and of course exploring worms and bugs. They love doing that.
There's so many hornworms in this bed. You're there.
After spreading out all the clover, we are just adding the PVC irrigation pipes back, and now it's time to spread out all of the clover once again. We are just covering all of our grow beds with this clover. I mean, look how luscious and thick this clover is and how much it's grown. This will definitely help with keeping moisture in as well in the garden beds, in the soil, because we are very dry out here, so this is perfect. And after covering all of our garden beds, the only thing we need to do is put back our irrigation lines. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us in the garden. I hope you are getting ready for the spring season to plant soon, and we will see you on the next one. We are definitely working on some more videos, so hit subscribe and give us some love. We will see you in the comments, and we will see you in the next one. Bye guys.